Esther, chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this Ahasuerus, who reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces, that in those days, when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the castle, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all the princes and his servants, the army of Persia and Media, the nobles, the princes of his provinces, being before him, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty, many days, even 180 days. And when these days were fulfilled, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the castle, both great and small, 7 days, in the court of the garden of the king's palace. There were hangings of white fine cotton, and blue bordered with cords, of fine linen and purple, upon the silver rods and pillars of marble. The couches were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of green and white and shell and onyx marble. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, and the vessels being diverse, one from another, and the royal wine in abundance according to the bounty of the king. And the drinking was according to the law, none did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus. And on the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mahumah, Bezata, Harbona, Begata, Abata, Zeter, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that ministered in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the peoples and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by the chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. The king said to the wise men, who knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshenah, Shether, Admatah, Tarshish, Meres, Marsena, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, who saw the king's face and set the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law, forasmuch as she hath not done the bidding of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains? And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not wronged the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the peoples that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. For this deed of the queen will come abroad unto all women, to make their husbands contemptible in their eyes. When it will be said, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. And this day will the princes of Persia and Media, who have heard of the deed of the queen, say the like unto all the king's princes. So will there arise enough contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go forth a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and that the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his kingdom, great though it be, all the wives will give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the word pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and speak according to the language of his people. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. We're going to be starting this book of Esther today. Esther means star. And stars of light in heaven are some we can witness, something we can see. And heaven is all the understandings, and we'll find out that in some of it we're going to get a greater lesson of it all. The God we find has brought the house of Israel, that remnant of Israel, that of Judah, into captivity. And this is during that period of captivity. This is going to be during the period of Ahasuerus or Ahasuerus. He was the father of Darius, and we remember Darius. We just finished the book of Daniel in this period of Darius. Darius is the Lord. Ahasuerus, though, Ahasuerus is this. It means I will silence the poor, or the poor is silenced. And that's where we're going to pick it up, is during this period of Ahasuerus, and we'll find out these of the children of Judah are already there amongst them. This is going to be after the overthrow of Babylon, and the Persians and the Medes have moved in and are taking up their positions there over these provinces. Esther, like I said, means star. We'll find out that her real name is Hodasah, and that is the myrtle trees, and in a feminine sense, even this beauty of the myrtle trees, because the myrtle trees are a tree that flowers. And we're going to pick it up here in verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus who reigned from India even to Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. And it will come to pass, and this is, we've got the writings here of Esther, and this is what happens in the days, and it was in the days of Ahasuerus. And Ahasuerus was the king, and he was the king of the Medes and the Persians at that period of time, this one who was silenced the poor. And his kingdom was great and mighty, and we'll hear of it as we go through. This is the one who reigned. He reigned from India even to Ethiopia. And India here, this is the Hudu, and the Hudu are those that go away or those that flee away. And Ethiopia this is Cush. This word is Cush, and we covered this. These are those of darkness. Over 107 provinces. And this 100, we will find out there's going to be judgment in the story. There are 7 and this fulfillments, we'll find out, are for redemption and over these provinces. And these are all those places. We'll find out God showing his great strength again, how he sets up the king and causes him to rule. God's using many examples here. One, we'll find out the greater one in the end. 2, that in those days, when King Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, this castle, and it was in those days, or even in those understandings of that period of the time, when the king Ahasuerus, this one who would silence the poor, we'll find out he's going to be given a great kingdom. His kingdom, even that castle we'd heard about in Daniel that was in Shushan. Shushan means lily, and it is what it signifies is this flower that's coming forth. 3, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all the princes and his servants, the army of Persia and Media, the nobles, the princes of provinces, being before him. And it would be in the 3rd year of his reign. In this 3rd year of his reign, we'll find out this is going to be that period of reign, that period of time through this 3rd year. And that is going to be to complete the greater understanding. He made this feast of his princes and his servants, all the army, all the host of Persia and Media. Persia is that of splendor. Media is that which was raised up in the middle. This is that which is raised up. These nobles, these princes from all the provinces he would gather before him. And when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. And what he was doing, he was showing all the magnificence of his kingdom, all the majesty of his king, and all this glory, this great wealth. We'll find out that God was given over into his hand, because it's God that done that. And the majesty, he would throw we'll find out, this great festival, this great feast he would have for 180 days, and this would be for judgment. See, 4 is the work of God. Score is 20. That's to witness the law and these understandings. 5. And when these days were fulfilled, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the castle, both great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace. And when these days and all these times, all these periods were fulfilled, see, that's another period of understandings, the king made this other feast. We'll find he makes another feast for all the people that were present in Shushan. And once again, that castle, that's that palace there in Shushan, or that's the place of the lily with this flower that's springing forth. It's budding, it's coming forth. We'll be able to witness it. Both great and small, no matter who you were, you was invited 7 days, and it was to accomplish the understandings, or to perfect them in this court of the garden of the king's palace. 6. There were hangings of white, fine cotton, and blue, bordered with cords of fine linen and purple, upon silver rods and pillars of marble. The couches were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of green and white and shell and onyx marble. And there was these hangings, or they was curtains that go around. These white, they were made pure. These white represents pureness and fine cotton, woven tightly in fine work with this blue, and this blue is to have probably these threads or these colors of blue laced into it, and this is of a royal color. It's just the show color. Actually, it means it's the show color, and they're bordered with cords of fine linen and purple. And this purple is that which is mingled in, and this red and blue to make purple. Upon silver rods, and silver is always these that pass through the fire, these rods that support. We'll find out even these generations that make up these rods, and pillars of marble. Marble is that which is, as we'll find out, it's a stone that glitters. It's a stone that can be highly polished. Even the couches were of gold, and the couch, or bed, I believe King James Version might say, these places of rest, these places of reclination where you can recline, were of gold. That's God's. That belongs to God. The silver, they were that which is to pass through the fire, that which they were made of, to be purified, upon a pavement of green and white and shell and onyx marble. And this pavement, this is where we'll get a little difference in the King James Version. It's going to say red and blue, white and black marble. And we'll find out what it is a pavement is a floor. A pavement, we see pavement as a highway or something like that, a parking lot today. But if you was to go into a big place, a big store, and this hard floor, a tile floor, would be a pavement. See, it's made of a stone, and this red or the green is, and what it is a glistening. It glistens. It's not a color at all, but it's a glistening stone. It's been highly polished. This white and this showers, these threads of color that run through it. We'll find out what these threads are. These threads are the mortar that bind together the marble stones, and this mortar has got mixed in it these colors of mother of pearl, like this highly polished from the sea. 7. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being different one from another, and royal wine in abundance according to the bounty of the king. And they give to drink all that came to the party. We'll find out this royal wine that was in abundance, and to drink from the vessels of gold. These vessels of gold. Gold's always, that belongs to God anyway. But these vessels are different one from another. 8. And the drinking was according to the law. None did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house, that they should do according to every man's pleasure. And the drinking was according to the law, and that law was what we just heard, that they should do according to every man's pleasure. And this drinking, or we'll find out, that was the wine, that which makes drunken, was according to that law. See, none did compel, none did constrain, none withheld, none stopped you, but none forced you either. See, there was no forcing to drink, but there was no restraining it either. They could drink, every man to his pleasure. 9. And also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus. And Vashti's the queen. Vashti, it means the beauties. It's plural. It means beauty, and a plural of it, beauties having more than one. This queen, she is the feminine ruler. The feast, she's going to make also a feast for the women, and woman is that which comes from man. In this royal house belongs to the king, Ahasuerus. This one, he will silence the poor. 10. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Bezetta, Harbona, Begata, Abasta, Zeter, Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that ministered in the presence of Ahasuerus the king. And it would be on the 7th day, and the 7th day is accomplished, to complete, to accomplish perfection even in understanding, when the heart, even the understandings of the king, was merry with wine. He commanded Mehuman, and these are going to be the chamberlains. These are the ones. A chamberlain is a eunuch, and a eunuch is someone who has been had their seeds removed, castrated, so that they could serve in the chambers even of the house of the king, and that's over the king's wives, probably his concubines. He would command these 7, and these will be Mehuman, and those are that are faithful. Bezetta, this is the booty, Harbona, that is steering the ruler, the correction, or this one that carries the burden. Begata, in the wine press, and that wine press is always that place where they press down the grapes, see, to get the sweet juice out of them. Abata is God's given. See, God is given. Zetar is a star. Zetar is a star. This light in this heaven, this understanding, we'll find out that it's Esther. Esther is a star. This light. And carcass means severe, or even it's harsh. We'll find out, or rough. It's like a judgment. These 7 chamberlains, and it's going to be to perfect it, to accomplish this, these that minister to the king. 11. To bring Vashti the queen before the king with a crown royal, to show the peoples and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look on. And the king tells his chamberlains, now go get Vashti the queen, the beauties, of the kingdom. She represents the beauties of the kingdom, even this feminine, all the beauty of the rule, before the king, and bring her in here with her crown upon her head, to show all the peoples and the princes her beauty. The king was going to show that Vashti was most beautiful. She was fair to look upon. 12. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by the chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. But we'll find out now, the queen Vashti, these beauties, or even these feminine beauties of rule, she refused to come in to the king. She refused the king, and it made the king very angry. 13. Then the king said to the wise men who knew the times, for as was the king's manner toward all that knew the law and judgment. Then the king's going to say to these wise men, and we remember the wise men, it's those Chaldeans, they were the wise, and these others that the king would set over, it depends on what language you would speak, see, these would be all those that would know the manner of the law, according to whatever nation you was from, and that the judgment should come from them. 14. And the next to him, unto him was Karshinah, Shetar, Admata, Tarshish, Mares, Marsena, Mamukin, the 7 princes of Persian Media, who saw the king's face, and sat the first in the kingdom. And these next to the king would be these princes, see, that would be next to him, or set in the kingdom, first in the kingdom, see, or be the next in command, we should say, in the kingdom, was Karshana. Karshana is this illustrious. Well, illustrious is this beauty of sparkling we see. This Shetar, the star. Shetar is a star. Shetar, see, there's a star. And it's the same thing. And what it is this illustriously beautiful, shining star. Admata is a testimony to them. Amata is a testimony. It means there's a testimony. Tarshish, even these yellow stones, and we remember those Tarshish, that yellow stone, or jasper. It's that yellowy stone. It kind of looks like gold, but these things ain't gold. This is another thing. This is a yellow stone. Mares is those lofty, those exalted ones. See, Marsena, the worthy ones, is what they are, and Mamukin, they were dignified somebody that's shown a good reason to receive respect, and they offer something. 15. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? For as much as she hath not done the bidding of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And the king, he asked these there that were with him, these are those that we just spoke of. What shall we do to the queen, this feminine rule, this beauty, according to the law? For as much as she's not done what the king has asked her to do. 16. And Mamukin answered before the king and the princess, Vashti, the queen, hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the peoples that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. And Mamukin are those that are dignified, or at least they've shown some reason to have received respect anyway. He answers the king. He says, Vashti, the queen, that's the beauties of this feminine ruler, she hath not done wrong just to the king, but she also now has done to the princes and all the peoples. See, all those that are in the rule of the king, Ahasuerus, this one who quietens the poor. 17. For this deed of the queen will come abroad unto all women, to make their husbands contemptible in their eyes, when it will be said, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. For this deed, this thing that the queen's done, she didn't come in, see, when the king had asked her for her to come in, and with her royal crown, because, see, the king had decked her, the king had prepared her, the king had made her beautiful with the ornaments thereof, and this is to represent this beauty of his rule. This is the beauty of his kingdom. This is that is what the queen represents, all the pleasantness, the beauty. And he wanted to show all this off. He was showing off his kingdom anyway with these feasts and all this. 18. And this day will the princes of Persia, Media, who have heard of the deed of the queen, say the like unto all the king of princes. So will there arise enough contempt and wrath. But so this deed that Vashti did, is she would not come in before the king to show the kingdom, all the people, her beauty and stuff. It's just the act of not doing what the king asked is this deed that Mamukin will now, he is going to ask that the king make a commandment, see, that the king make a ruling, because this deed will cause contempt. And this contempt and wrath, or this rise up enough, or this to cause contempt and wrath to rise up, And this would be to this unsettlement of the way it is. 19. If it please the king, let there go forth a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, that the king give her rule estate unto another that is better than she. So Memucan, he says, now if it please the king, let there go forth this royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, and we'll find out they don't change their laws, that it be not altered. The Persians, this is splendor, and these that are raised up, that Vashti, the beauties, that she is the queen, come no more before the king Ahasuerus, that she don't appear in the presence of the king no more, that the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. And this, as we'll find out, is setting the stage. Because, see, God, will find out, rules in the king's kingdom. See, God does. God is preparing. God is making ready. 21. And the word pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. So Memucan has suggested the king make a commandment that this be done, and that he's going to get him a new queen. He's going to find him a new queen. And this word pleased the king and the princes. He does according to this word of Memucan. 22. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and speak according to the language of his people. So Ahasuerus, this one who silenced the poor, he sends these letters, these proclamations, these decrees even, into all the provinces. These are the places of his rule, or the places that he has set rule in. To every province according to the writing thereof. And it would be according to whatever language was spoken in these provinces. We'll find at that time the way the kings and the Persians and the Medes ruled was they allowed every man to keep his own understanding. They allowed every man to maintain his own way of life, while they set rule over. It was really more about taxation and this and that than anything else. But he would send these letters out into every village, every town, every city, every state, every province, so to speak, that every man should bear rule in his own house. And this would that every man should have authority or have rule in his house. That's his place of abode, and speak according to the language of his people, and be able to speak even according to the language of his people in his own tongue. See this, and that would be the ways of the Medes and Persians. That their law says that you maintain your understanding, you maintain this, and that's where we begin. See, at the everybody as after his own pleasure, drinking, see, and doing this. And this is, we'll find, is the stage. We're just setting the stage to the lesson in the order of the overall chapters of the book. And we'll pick it up in chapter 2. Turn and return.